What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we have a prospect update on one of the most intriguing prospects not only in the Winnipeg Jets organization but in the NHL as a whole, and that is of course Brad Lambert, brand new WHL champion Brad Lambert. Lambert was picked in the first round, 30th overall by Winnipeg in the 2022 NHL draft. He plays center and the wing, predominantly has been playing center though with the Seattle Thunderbirds, where he has been playing for the last 3 to 4 months. At the beginning of the season, he had actually really impressed in the preseason. A lot of people were thinking that Brad Lambert had the opportunity to even make the team, like the big club, the Winnipeg Jets. In the end, though, he did get sent down to the AHL with the Manitoba Moose, and he would play there for a little bit. Then he went to the World Juniors and then ultimately ended up in the WHL. We will talk about all that in just a second. But Brad comes in right now at 19 years old, 6 foot, 183, and a very, very, very speedy winger with a very high ceiling. He started the year with the Manitoba Moose, where he actually played just 14 games in the AHL. He was sick, he had injuries, and a lot of what, they said at the draft and, why he fell so much was kind of becoming clear, right? Like, he just wasn't able to stay healthy, didn't have a lot of confidence, and he only scored 2 goals, put up 1 assist for 3 points. Not bad for an 18-year-old, but nothing really wowing anybody, really. And then he would go on into the World Juniors, where he would again be kind of disappointing. He wouldn't get a lot of ice time though, and that was a big thing that I noticed. He just really was not getting the opportunities. He was playing with wingers that really weren't as talented. So when you combine that together, you really aren't going to be set up for success. The only point that he did have was a goal in Game 1, and that was about it for a guy that really impressed a year ago in the World Juniors. So you know what, it was kind of concerning at that point in the year. Is he going to be a long-term project player? It kind of felt like it at the time, right? It felt like he needed to find his confidence again. And with the Seattle Thunderbirds, that's exactly what happened. In just 26 games played coming in midway through the year, he put up 17 goals, 21 assists for a total of 38 points, and he just made it look easy. He was skating out there. He had so much room. He just looked like he was having a ton of fun playing with guys like Dylan Guenther and, Colton Dach, just so many guys on that Thunderbirds team that are just so good and were able to, support Lambert. And he really hasn't had that support. He hasn't had good wingers that he's really been playing with. And now he's playing center and he's thriving. And I know what a lot of people are thinking here. Well, Brad's just all offense. That's all he brings, right? Like, there's no defense, and therefore he might be a little while away from the NHL. And to be honest, I'm not sure if that's so true. If you really do watch some of the tape on Brad Lambert, he's becoming a fantastic two-way player. Maybe not, going to be an all-world defensive guy or anything like that, but he definitely does make his presence known. He is a pretty decent defender, is really out there on the forecheck, and I'm just really impressed, a guy that is so slight, that is so skilled, is willing to go into the corners, is willing to do some of that stuff. And I know it is just in the WHL, it's not the toughest, roughest league in the world, but, hey, if he's able to translate that to the AHL, to the NHL, that's something that Rick Bowness and his staff is really going to like and value, right? And I think that he could end up being one of the more fun players on this Jets team in general that we've ever had since the team relocated from Atlanta. So Brad Lambert and the Seattle Thunderbirds go into the playoffs, and Brad would post up 17 games played, 6 goals, 20 assists for 26 points, one of the best players on the ice at all times. His speed on display, his, just ability to find the open guy, always tape to tape, always being creative, always just, creating space for his teammates. And that's a big thing, always creating space for everybody. And even showed off his goal scoring ability in the finals, in that final round there against Winnipeg, where he scored 2 gorgeous goals. I was live in attendance for a couple of them, and geez, man, he is good. He is the real deal, and I think that Brad Lambert is going to be a real good player. Based off what I've seen so far, he's a lot of fun, electrifying, and really, just wow. Super impressed with Brad. Will Brad be ready for the, the 2023-2024 season? I'm not sure, right? We'll have to see what preseason brings. We'll have to see what this Jets team looks like as a whole. Are they rebuilding? Are they retooling, right? There's so much stuff that goes into this. But my money would be on that he starts the year with the Manitoba Moose. Maybe he does finish it again with Seattle, but it wouldn't shock me if he does get a fair shot there with the Manitoba Moose with an elevated role with guys like Danny Zhilkin and Nikita Chibrikov. If Brad is able to make the team, though, I do think think that he should be looked at, you know, with an elevated role. I don't think that fourth line minutes would make sense for him. I think that they should probably look at, you know, trying to find a opportunity in the top 6 for him, because it's ultimately the role that he's going to be in the NHL. He does project to be a top 6 player, and, you know, I do think that he could be a really good first line player as well. He's shifty, he's fast, he can really dish out the puck and make players look a lot better than they are. And I think that, you know, him playing with Dylan Guenther, those guys had a ton of chemistry together, and Dylan Guenther is pretty much just a copy and paste of what Kyle Connor is. I think that Lambert and Connor together would be a lot of fun, whether Lambert plays the wing or center, whichever the Jets, you know, decide to do with them. You know, if we're looking back at past trends like Jack Roslovic, Cole Perfetti, he'll likely start on the wing. Maybe he does eventually move to center, but, you know, Kyle Connor with, you know, ex center and Brad Lambert, maybe Mark Scheifele sticks around, maybe that's what happens, maybe Cole Perfetti, Kyle Connor, and Brad Lambert, that could be a lot of fun as well. Just a lot of stuff to think about here with Brad, and I think that he just makes everyone around him better, similar to, you know, kind of what Cole Perfetti does, but just in a different way. So, you know, we're talking about Brad here being a very, very good offensive player, you know, very serviceable defensive guy, and a guy that can play the wing, center. He's just a lot of fun. He's just, you know, a Swiss Army knife, super fast, super exciting to watch, and I can't wait to see this guy at the NHL level. I think that he's going to be a beast, and I just can't believe that he fell to 30. Like, I understand, you know, all the hype about Brad Lambert and how his season before his draft year really wasn't that great, and he just, you know, kind of fizzled out, right? And he fell down the draft rankings, but there was no reason to fall to 30 in hindsight. I just can't believe it, but I am so happy that he did fall to Winnipeg. I was kind of hoping actually at 14 that Winnipeg would take him over Rucker McGroarty, right? There was a couple guys on the board there at the time that I was like, wow, Brad's still available. I can't believe he hasn't gotten taken. That was kind of in the area where I thought that he might get taken, but we went with McGroarty instead. I didn't think that the Jets would ever have a chance to pick him at 30, but they did. And hey, he's going to be an electrifying player, and I can't wait to see what he does with this team. Looking back on the New York Rangers trade, though, for Andrew Kopp, the haul has been significant, right? Like, that second round pick turned into a first because the Rangers made the third round, and then that ended up being Brad Lambert. The Jets got Morgan Barron, and, you know, a whole bunch of other things, and it's just unbelievable how that trade has aged and how well it could still even look for Winnipeg for, you know, sending a rental over to New York for Andrew Kopp. So I can't wait to see how this is going to age, because I think it's going to age very well. I'm very high on Brad Lambert, if you can't tell. I think that he's going to be a fantastic prospect here in the NHL. I think that he does have potential to be a first-line player. I think that he could be an elite player in this league, and I think that it will be a lot of fun to watch him grow here in the next couple of years. The Jets are very exciting. They have many prospects coming up here, like Danny Zhilkin, who I am very high on. You know, I've talked about him already. Go check out that video if you haven't already. Nikita Chibrikov, who I think is maybe a year or two away yet, and you know, Brad Lambert leading the charge forward. Lots of other players available coming up for the Winnipeg Jets in the next couple seasons, but Brad is definitely leading the charge in terms of prospects. I think that he's the most exciting one, and I think that he's the one that's going to bring the most impact there in the future. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Brad Lambert? Are you excited for the flashiness? I sure am. I'd love to hear from you guys, and you know, kind of what you guys think about Brad. But I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.